Hovey.
And I'm Angelina DeWeese.
Get ready to bust through your limiting beliefs and set your soul on fire.
Today we're going to talk about team community. One of the biggest questions we get is, how do you create a community? How do you keep people in the community? And how do you create excitement in your team? The thing about community is that we all want to belong. We all want somewhere to feel safe. We want somewhere to know that what we believe is what they believe. And a lot of times in the network marketing industry, whatever product or service that you're selling is maybe a little bit different. Maybe it is something that needs word of mouth. It needs somebody else to communicate the value of it. So community is that much more important. In a lot of our programs, we talk about something called ecology. And ecology is something that it is a set or a group of things that needs to happen in order for you to feel safe and loved. And a community is a wonderful place for you to be able to have a place to have that love and safety and community. It's really important for you as a leader to have and create community for your team.
Yes, it's so important. When I got started, I was so blessed to be part of an amazing community. In that community, I felt safe. I had just started network marketing. I was nervous about that. I was nervous about the products, but it gave me a place to thrive and flourish. Now, some of you guys are just getting going and you're part of this amazing community and you think, well, I'm already part of one. I don't need to create one. Wrong. So part of your growth in network marketing and stepping into true leadership is right now building your community. So we're going to give you guys a few tips of how to get started in creating an incredible community for your team.
One of the things I love is the use of Facebook. Now we know so many people are on Facebook, and it's a wonderful way to start a group where you can very easily connect with everyone in your team. So I think of Facebook as two parts. One is that you want to create a Facebook group for your leaders. And so as you have people that are saying yes, they want to work with you, they want to build a network marketing business, you want to keep them inspiring and growing, keep the information flowing, and make sure that you keep it in a very easy to consume way. Second part is you want to think about your consumers, anyone who's purchasing your products, anyone who's starting to learn. You can educate them on how to use it, share testimonials, share a bit about your own personal life, because the truth is we want to know a little bit more about you, and that's how the community starts. You're the one that creates the belonging, the safety, and the community. So that's a great thing to use very easily, high leverage, and you're going to be able to communicate with a lot of people in a short amount of time.
Yes, I love Facebook groups. So not only do you get to create an amazing community, but also, like Ange just mentioned, communicate to your team. It's such an easy way to get out the word of what's going on. So another tip about getting out the word is creating team events. So this is a fantastic way for you to get to know and build relationships. This is a relationship business. And so many times we get caught up in the to-dos and what we need to do to build our business and make, our goals and all those great things. But the problem is we start to forget about that this really is about just us building a life together and building our dreams together and having fun along the way. And so team events allows you to get to know each other at a whole new level. A team event could be as simple as creating a potluck dinner. Everybody brings some food. Once a month you get together. Nate and I do this. We even rent up a blow up for all the kids to come and play on, a blow up bounce house. But it really could be as simple as hanging out in your backyard and getting to know each other. And then it could go beyond that. So it could be any type of event you want to create a bonding within those relationships. And I promise you this, there have been so many people on my team in the last few years that I think might have left the business because they were struggling with it, they weren't growing with it, but they had that bond, and that bond held them through the hard times. Those relationships are what mattered to them, and they kept going because of it.
Yes, I love that. I think that it's also so much fun to do those things. So sometimes we feel like we have to work really hard together, but having fun together also really connects and bonds us. I love that. All right, so another amazing tip, one that I really love, is team calls. Now, when I first started network marketing, I thought, what am I going to talk about? I don't even know what I'm doing. I straight off the bat had some amazing leaders that were ready to go, and I thought, okay. And then as I started doing my team calls, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to talk about. And I think I have a lot to say, but I still, when I was showing up to my team calls, I thought, you know what? They don't really like this. They don't really want this. But I realized that was my fear. That was my concern, because actually having a consistent team call is really critical to creating community, because you can't create deep relationships unless you have consistency. So even if you don't think you have anything to say, you do. And the other thing is that you want to make sure your people have the opportunity to connect with you, to ask questions, to learn together, to laugh together, to talk about your kids, to talk about what you need to do. Because that in and of itself, even if you teach nothing, that creates community. And of course, we want you to teach and be able to know how to mentor as well on these calls. But really, the take home here is to know that these calls are really critical, whether or not you think they are. They are.
Absolutely. I think, you could pull out a leadership magazine and just go a whole month or 2 months off of just subjects off of that. And I think, like Ange mentioned, I felt like I needed to be everything and know everything to do calls. I remember the first one, I just sweat like crazy on the other end. Like, I don't know, is anybody going to show up? And then we built over time these amazing community calls. Another thing that I started doing with our team is we started offering question and answer calls. And that was a fantastic place for people to come when they had questions and getting going in their business. They got to know us at a personal level, and we got to serve them through these calls. My favorite way, ready? My favorite way to do calls is through Zoom. So if you go to zoom.us, this is my favorite way. In the past, I used a conference call number, and we just did it over the phone. It was fantastic. People could call in. On Zoom, they can call in as well, but the ones who are on their computer and have the access on their phone, you get to see their face on Zoom. So there's such a deeper connection when you're on Zoom. So much more soulful interaction happens by using Zoom. So I highly recommend that for your team calls. So the next tip for you guys is creating a celebration program, as we like to call it. So some kind of program where you're always paying attention to what's happening on your team. The little wins, the big wins, they're all wins. And it's all about celebrating those wins and that they feel recognized. When I started network marketing, before I had ever done this before, I worked in a company that I never felt recognized. I felt like I was working my tail off and I never was good enough. And then I came to network marketing and it was like, oh my gosh, what I'm doing is being noticed. And it's such a good feeling. It builds community. You feel like you're part of something bigger than just what you're doing. So we created a recognition program for our team. So at each rank, we do something. But let me tell you the best thing you can do. Ready? It costs hardly any kind of money and makes the biggest impact in your celebration program. Handwritten note cards. That's it. You just take time every month to look at all the wins that are happening on your team and take time to love on them through sending them that recognition of what they're doing and what they're up to, and that you notice and that you're grateful for them. It has made the biggest impact out of anything we've implemented into our business. Our celebration program has probably been the biggest. They feel like they're part of a team that recognizes their efforts, and they want to do more and more and more because of it.
Who doesn't like to be celebrated? I mean, it's the best thing in the world to get a card in the mail. I love that. Awesome. Another really awesome tip for creating a community is retreats or going somewhere together. So this isn't about doing a potluck. This is about actually leaving your house, leaving the environment that you're in, and going to hang out together. So this might be renting a house, getting together. This might be going to an event together, renting a house. Maybe it's going to your company's convention. It is so magical when you get together and you just have a big hangout. Part of it is that it gets you out of your environment, so it gets you away from things that you might be focused on in terms of your responsibilities. But it also creates fun, connection. I mean, imagine just hanging out in a house and getting to know people on your team even more. It really creates some dynamic community and some bonding moments that you couldn't do any other way. I really love retreats, and I specifically love going to events with my team so that as we're growing together. That's really important.
Oh, totally. When you start your business, you don't always have the money to hold your own retreats. There might be other retreats going on in your business that you attend, but you will get to the point where you could create retreat opportunities for your team. And I tell you what, that is where not only the magic happens, like Ange said, but where the fun happens. What happens at retreat stays at retreat. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so last tip is create a team name. Woo! Okay, no matter where you're at, if your brand's thinking new and you started yesterday, create a name for your team. Who do they belong to? You could create a name that goes along with the theme of what business you're running. For Nate and I, we just have the Hovey team. It's quite easy. So whatever it is for you, come up with something that your team knows who they belong to. And what we want you guys to do is post below today what your team name is that you come up with. So it all comes down to you stepping into this new level of leadership, guiding your team, loving on your team, creating a space for them to thrive and flourish. It is so fun when they feel like they have somewhere where they belong. Have fun with this. We honestly can't wait to see how this affects your network marketing business.
Thank you so much for joining us for Magic Mondays. Remember to share this with your team because it's awesome. And remember, the world needs more of you.